Hi, today I'm going to show you a great way to teach letters and letter sounds to your pre-reading kid without even having to buy a curriculum. Hi, I'm Brenda from the Homeschool Files, and I'm glad you joined me today. Teaching letters and letter sounds to our kids does not have to be as hard as it seems. If you've never taught a kid to read and this is your first time doing so, I know it can feel really daunting, but this is a fun activity that you can do with your kids, and it will just be a great activity for them no matter if you have a curriculum or not. So let's get started. Okay, who is this for? Probably best for your preschoolers and pre-K kids, so probably ages 4 is ideal. But you know your kid best. Some 3-year-olds are very much ready for this. I've known some 2-year-olds that could do some of this. And you may have a kindergartner who is coming in fresh and doesn't know their letters or letter sounds. If you've taken a more relaxed approach to your homeschool, and they just haven't been exposed to that, no problem. You know, this is a great activity for kindergarten as well. Kindergarten used to be where kids learn their letters and letter sounds, and I'm all for retro kindergarten. If you have an older kid who has some developmental delays, this may still be a great opportunity for them, a great activity. You just will change the pictures that you put in it to be more appropriate for them. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute, okay? So here's what you're going to need to do this. You're going to need a 3-ring binder, all right? And I just made a really quick title. You can make your title page look a lot better than that. And you're going to need some scrapbook paper or construction paper. I have already punched holes in this. It's ready to go. You're going to need some pictures, okay? And I have a lovely picture of me here and some others that we're going to use in a few minutes. You're going to need a glue stick and a marker. And that is really the main things you're going to need. Now, we're going to start with what they know. We're going to start with letters that they know. How are you going to know what letters they already know? Well, I'll tell you. There are 3 ways that your kid can identify letters. And any way that they do this, any of these 3 ways, we're going to give them a point for they know that letter, okay? So if they look at a letter and they say, oh, that is M. That's the letter M. Then yes, they know that letter. They get a point, okay? Or they might look at that letter and say, that's the letter. Don't know where they pick it up sometimes, but they do. Oh, that letter says That's right. They get a point, okay? They know that letter. Or they might see a letter and say, that's mommy's letter, okay? And they get a point for that too, if they can associate it with a word that they know. Any way that they do it, whether they say the name of the letter, the sound the letter makes, or a word that is associated with it, any of those ways, we're going to say they know that letter, okay? Now, we do eventually want them to know all the letters by all 3 of those ways, but we're going to start with whatever they have, okay? Singing the ABC song, if your kid can do that, that is absolutely wonderful, but that is a completely separate skill, because saying the names of the letters without actually seeing them or pointing to them is not really knowing the letters. It's just knowing a song. And there's nothing wrong with it, because you can use that as you point to the letters and they'll eventually put it all together. But just because they can say their ABCs or sing their ABCs, that's not really what we're talking about here. All right, so you don't have to formally test your child to find out what they know. You can do this by playing with magnetic letters. And I have some magnetic letters here that I have, and I'm going to put a link in the description for these because these are really good letters, okay? I have a whole set of capitals and lower cases, and the reason that they're so good, is because they also have, and this is for a little bit older kids, the typeset A and the typeset G that they're going to come across in books. And so you can kind of start to introduce those and let them know, yeah, sometimes G looks squiggly like this, or sometimes the A is funny looking. So it's a really good set of letters. But what my kids used was the Leapfrog fridge phonics. Did your kids have that, or do they? It's magnetic and it has magnet letters that stick in it, and that you push the letter and it sings a song to them with the letter sounds and letter name and all that. Fridge phonics from Leapfrog. Wonderful, wonderful toy to play with. We also had somebody give us the Leapfrog word whammer, and you can put 3 letters in at a time, and so they can start to spell simple words. That's for a little bit older, but the fridge phonics is a great way. So you can sit down and play with these magnetic letters with them, play with the fridge phonics, and you can have them, show you what they already know. Show me a letter that you know. Oh, what's that letter? That's daddy's letter. Yeah, that's right. D for daddy. Very good. So that's a letter that they know. They probably know the letter of their own first name. So we're going to give them a point for whatever they know. And we're going to start with that. So let's start making a page in, let's start making a page in their letter book. Like I said, we're going to start with one that they know. So I'm going to start with the letter M. Most of my kids learned mama's letter very, very quickly. So what we're going to do is I have taken a printout that I made. These are very easy to find online, just block letter. You can type them in a word processing document and enlarge them big, or you can find downloads online. So this is a nice big block letter. You can have them paint this, color it, whatever you want. My sister had her son do bingo daughter, the little bingo daughters that you paint, the paint daubers. And so they can paint that however you want, and you can cut it out. I have a smaller one here that we're going to use. And you can see that I have colored it kind of like a kid would color it. So we're going to glue this on our paper, okay? And we're going to put it right up here at the top left. Now, this is a great project to do with your kid. I want to give a word of warning to you moms that really like to scrapbook. This is not your scrapbook project, and it's not going to be perfect. It's really hard, I know, but you have to let the kids do it to a certain extent. I am going to insist that the letter always go at the top left. That's the only thing I'm going to keep the same on this. Everything else is going to be up to them about where to put it. So they're going to have a lot of say in what goes on here. All right, we're going to start with what they know the best, and that is, of course, a picture of mama, mommy, whatever they call you. And you're going to go ahead and let them or help them glue a picture of mommy. Where would you like to put mommy? I'm going to put her right here. Great. And I am going to write, as the parent, I'm going to go ahead and write mommy. M for mommy. And every time we're making this page, I'm going to do a lot of modeling. I'm going to tell them we're making an M page. We're making mommy's letter page. We're making the page. I'm going to refer to it all those ways. And see, I wrote a for mommy. And up here, I'm going to write a big M and a lowercase m. And that's not a lot of difference for M. Some of the letters, of course, look very different, but we're going to go ahead and introduce it. So when we read this page, we're going to say, M for mommy, M, mommy. We read the page. That's how you do it. It's really that simple. Now, we need to add some more things to it, okay? So you can go ahead and start with your family members. That's probably the easiest way. So what you need to do is find some things that they already know. So I've got a few examples here, okay? Oh, that one goes on the other page. So maybe they know McDonald's. It may not be McDonald's. It might be some other environmental print of a restaurant or store that you go to a lot. We're going to go ahead and glue that down, and I'm going to write McDonald's. Maybe they know mouse. Mommy, I hear in mouse. That's right. We're going to glue a mouse down. Very good. Maybe they like Moana. We've got two characters we can use. We've got Maui and, of course, Moana. We've got lots of sounds going on here. And then, of course, their favorite, mac and cheese. All right. So we're going to glue all these down. And when this all gets done, and this will be done over the course of several weeks, you can just add one picture a day if you want. Whatever you want to add. But look, this is a finished page. Of course, I need to write on them, but you're going to read it like this. This is M. M says M. M for mouse. M for mommy. M for McDonald's. Okay, that's how we're going to do it. Now they have a lot of things to associate with that sound and that M. All right, let's do another one. And I'm going to show you how you can run into some problems and what to do about them. So let's pretend that we're doing one for the letter P, okay? And I'm just going to write a P up here because I don't have one printed out, okay? So we've got capital P, lowercase p. They look almost the same to a kid. And on our page, we've got Pawpaw. Okay, we're going to do Pawpaw. Maybe your dog's name is Patches, and they know that. Okay, Patches. We like to go to PetSmart. Great. Here's Peppa Pig. Whatever your kid is into, okay? Now, when my nephew, who's in his 30s, when my sister used to do kind of activities like this with him, he was very into Thomas the Tank Engine, okay? So he would have had a page for Thomas, a page for Percy, a page for Gordon. He knew those trains by heart. All right. My 21-year-old, she was into Dora, and a book that I made with her, we had Dora, we had Tico, we had all of the characters. She knew them all. So you're going to have to pick what is it that your kid is into, what movie they like, what show they like. We're going to put those things in their book. A lot of times after you've introduced a few of them, like start with your family members, get everybody in there, start with Papa and Mama and Daddy and all of that, get your family members in there. And then you can start to suggest a few things, but eventually they are going to be the ones suggesting things. You're going to be getting something, you're going to be getting ready for a snack one day, and they're going to say, popcorn sounds like Papa, Mama. And you're going to say, that's right, it does. And the next day, by golly, you need to add a popcorn page to the P page because they noticed it starts the same way. So when they start doing that, add it to the book, okay? You're going to be adding a lot of things. But here's what I want to talk about. So let's pretend that this is their friend or their cousin, and her name is Phoebe. All right, now what do we do with Phoebe? Because Phoebe sounds like F, but Phoebe starts with a P, and they've seen her name and they know that. So we're going to go ahead and put Phoebe where her name starts with. So we're going to go ahead and do this, and we're going to write Phoebe. And if they say something about it, which they may not at first, but if they say, that doesn't sound like Peppa, that Phoebe doesn't sound like that. No, you're right. Phoebe sounds like frog. Yes, it does. And all you need to do is just say, sometimes in a name, letters can sound different. Okay, so when we have a PH, it says F, no problem. If you don't worry about it, they're not going to worry about it. Names are different. And you're going to come across this when you're doing vowels as well, because we all know that there's long and short vowel sounds. There's I like ice cream, and there's I like igloo. So each vowel is going to have at least two sounds for it, and they may notice that. And if they do, you just say, yeah, sometimes letters have more than one sound. But, you know, if you've got a good sampling on here, they're going to realize that most of the time when they see a P, it sounds like P. Okay? So you're going to make these pages. Start with the ones that they know, and then you're going to keep adding to it until you have all of them. You're going to put them into their book in alphabetical order so you can go through and read it. And you're going to read it every day or every day that they're interested. That's great. Anytime you get it out, anytime someone else comes over, get the book out. Hey, let's show them your book. And they can just flip through it, show their favorite parts. And you're reinforcing every time. Yeah, that's the letter M. It sounds like that's mommy's page and Maui's page. Okay. So it's lots of great things. Now, read it often. Another thing you can do is you can take one of the pictures, okay, like Phoebe, and you can put a magnet on the back, laminate this, put a magnet on the back, and then you can make a matching game out of it. You know, you can get it on the fridge with a magnet. This will stick, and then you've got the letter P for Phoebe. I had a capital P over here. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, so you're going to use as a matching game. It'll be some of the pictures from their book, and so that's a very powerful thing that you can do as well. All right, so what are they learning with this very simple activity? It's not hard. It takes a little bit of sit down and dealing with glue sticks and all of that stuff. But what are they learning? Well, let's talk about it. They are learning those 3 ways to identify the letter: by sound, by name, by association. And that is such great pre-reading stuff that they need, okay? They are also learning the shape of the letter and how to write it, because when you are reading this with them, you can take their finger and you can say up, down, M. Okay, and you can do that over and over and have them trace it. And they're going to figure out that that's how you write it. You can do an O, you can do the P, you can trace these. And once they kind of get used to that, you can move into the handwriting without tears. They have an app called Wet, Dry, Try. If you're familiar with Handwriting Without Tears curriculum, it is amazing. And their Wet, Dry, Try in real life uses a chalkboard, chalk, and a sponge. And it is very tactile. And if you've got a kid that needs that hands-on stuff, that's the app you want, okay? But the app, that's the stuff you want, the materials you want, but the app is great. It really is. I'm not a huge fan of learning apps, but this one is great. And it really teaches them how to make those uppercase letters. And it's so good. So after that, they can try painting these letters that they've learned on like a wooden bench or the side of your house with water and a big paintbrush. And you're going to go up, down, M. That's mommy's letter. You painted my letter. Great job. You're going to reinforce that. They can paint them on an easel really big. Okay. All of that you're going to do before you ever try to have them have a paper and pencil and do handwriting. We're not doing that. We're learning the shapes of the letters, kind of how to make them, and we're just reinforcing that. You can also print, like I use those big ones. You can print those big ones and have them paint those, color them, do whatever you want. These can be hung on the wall. You can hang them up and put little pictures around them. Whatever you want to do, they're going to love this activity. Now, they are also learning the long and short vowels, the different sounds for the letters. They're learning the difference between capital and lowercase. They can match. You can start matching. You can hand them some letters. So here you go. Can you find mommy's letter? Great. There it is. Can you find mommy's little letter? Perfect. There it is. You found mommy's big letter and mommy's little letter. As they get older, of course, you will start to introduce the words uppercase and lowercase, or capital and lowercase. You don't always have to say big letter and little letter, but it's okay if you start out that way, okay? So you're going to tell them, here's Phoebe's big P, here's Peppa Pig's little p. Yep, there it is. And one of my kids would have called them the daddy P and the mommy P, or the baby P. They like to call them those kind of little names like that. And they're going to learn to match these up because they're seeing them all the time in their book, okay? There's also different characteristics of the letters that you can start doing as they get older. You can tell them, you know what? I noticed that letter G has a hole in it. Can you find me some other letters that have a hole in the middle? And they can, and they'll be like, ooh, B has a hole, and O has a hole, and A has a hole. Look at that. They're learning so much about letters from this. And you're just playing with the magnetic letters and learning together, and it's really fun. You might also say, hey, I noticed that letter M is made all out of sticks. I wonder if I gave you some craft sticks, could you make a letter M? And you can hand them some craft sticks, and you can glue it down in an M. There's a lot of stick letters, T, L, all these letters that you can make out of craft sticks. And when they get to one that they want to make and they find, oh, I can't make it. Yeah, because it's got curves in it. And that's where handwriting without tears is great, because they have the curves. If you've ever seen their wooden pieces, playing with those is phenomenal and goes right along with this book. I'm not telling you have to buy that, but it is a great thing if you get your hands on some. Okay, so this is a super, super powerful activity. I know it seems really simple to just have this little book that you pull out, my letter book, and you've got all these pages in here that they've made with you. But it is so powerful because they are helping make it with you one picture at a time, and they're reading it with you all the time. Several times a week, they're reading it with you. If you're already using a pre-reading curriculum and you're happy with it, keep right on doing that. And you can add this in. This can be something that you do on Fun Fridays. It can be something that you do for your morning time. It can be added right in there because they're not going to see this as hard work. This is fun stuff to do with mom or with dad or whoever homeschools them. And it's a great book. I still have my 21-year-old daughter's book and my 13-year-old daughter's book. I don't know if I have my oldest daughter's, but I'm telling you that they're like little scrapbook mementos because it's all the things they liked at that age, and it's really special. So I hope you have a great time using them, and I hope this has helped you.